Hi there, my name's Nicky and I'm reading from one of my books called No Ordinary Man. This is a story about an Anzac soldier during World War II in the Western Desert War, and it's about his secret obsessions and the psychological damage and stress of what war had done to him and how he coped with that, the methods he used. So I'm going to be reading from chapter 15. The wind had shifted the sand and he surreptitiously tried to relocate the exact burial spot without drawing any attention from the guards at the camp gates in the distance. He was reassured that Ken had his back, and he agreed to invent a distraction for the other guard if there was any obvious risk of Mick being observed. He pulled his trench shovel from his backpack, unfolded and locked the scoop into position, and began digging. The tall shadows of the palms camouflaged his secretive activity. The guards would have needed binoculars to see what Mick was up to, so he felt relatively safe to carry on. The soft sand was easy to shift, and he carefully laid each shovelful to the left side of the shallow hole. He carried on with the occasional grunt as sweat started to form on his forehead. It was hot work, but within minutes he saw the telltale edge of a brown paper parcel securely tied with twine. Furtively looking around once more, he quickly reached forward, grabbing the package from its shallow grave. Mick relegated the shovel to the desert sand while gingerly pulling the binding string aside and carefully ripping open a corner of the parcel. He smiled with relief as he saw the red silk fabric and began tugging it out of the torn paper. He held it in his hand for a few seconds, pleased that his secret was safe and in perfect condition after all this time. He gently pushed the red shiny fabric back into the package and wrapped it up again. Suddenly from behind, he heard the loud booming voice of Sergeant Reginald Pollock, a hardened British soldier with a large head. A sniper's delight, Miller the killer had often joked out of Pollock's earshot. "Hey!" Pollock shouted, making Mick jump in a shock. "What the hell are you doing?" Mick stood up and swung around in a swift, fluid movement, sweat clearly visible above his terrified gaze. His arms had clasped the parcel behind his back in a single imperceptible movement. "Sir?" Mick stood to attention, the parcel stuffed in the belt at the back of his army fatigues. "Answer me, Corporal," hissed Pollock. "Nothing much, it's just a present," Mick mumbled. Sergeant Pollock looked like he'd just been asked to choke down a ball of bullshit, the sharp, ruthless edge of his anger tested to breaking point. He thrust his right hand towards his prey. Mick anxiously shifted his feet, terrified, his heart racing, looking like a trapped animal. "Give it to me now," boomed Pollock, with 1 second staccato intervals between each word, as if his victim was hard of hearing. Mick stammered, his crimson face flushed as he reluctantly passed the torn package to his tormentor. Pollock snatched the parcel and ripped the hidden fabric from its brown paper. He hesitated momentarily, raising his eyebrows, while a slight grin spread across his hardened face. He retrieved his sense of torturous enthusiasm as he began waving the red silk chemise in the air. "What the hell is this then?" shouted Pollock. He wasn't called Rhino Hide for nothing, and his thick skin was only secondary to his limited intelligence. Thank you.